Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Ife Artistry. If this is your first time seeing my videos, you're highly welcome. And if you're a returning subscriber, thank you so much for always watching my videos, and God bless you. Okay guys, so in today's video, I'm going to be showing you guys how I transform my gorgeous clients. Okay, so first of all, I started with cleaning her face as usual, and I cleaned the face, I cleaned the under eyes, I cleaned the entire face with a micellar water and the wipes. So I poured the wipes inside the micellar water, and I used the water from it, like I used it a wet wipes now, like very wet, to clean her face thoroughly. So I equally noticed that my client has a lot of acne on her face. So after cleaning, I made sure I toned the face with my cotton wool and the toner. So after toning the face, I dry it up. So when you look at the skin after cleaning and toning, you are going to realize that it's very dry and very neat as well. So my client has acne on her face and all that, so I'm going to equally do my best to protect the skin against oils and everything. Okay guys, so moving ahead, I'm going to be moisturizing her skin. I'm going to be using the Cetaphil moisturizer to moisturize her skin. Okay guys, so I heard from some people and some of my students saying that, no, not really my students anyway, I heard from people complaining about how Cetaphil used to, I don't know, have issues for them, I don't know, but for me, Cetaphil is good. I've not really experienced any issues using Cetaphil. So one thing I just know for sure is for you to just blend very well when you're putting in the product. You see how I blend with my hands, like blend and massage into the skin very well. So after that, I use the Merak Skin Prep to control the sweat, and now I'm using the classic mattifying primer to mattify her face. That's just the primer I'm going to be using for her. So like, I'm not just mattifying the T-zone at this point, I'm mattifying, like I'm putting the primer almost everywhere because she has this oily skin and all. Okay guys, so after putting everything on, I'm going to be using my Kids Beauty Setting Spray to lock in everything I've done so far, and then I'm going to use my fan and dry it up. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm going to be mixing my foundation. I am mixing the Jaydriz Cosmetics foundation and the Loreal True Match foundation to get this creamy based finish. After mixing, I applied on her face and I blend it into her skin. So I'm going to be using my beauty sponge. That is, beauty sponge is from what's the name of this brand? I've forgotten really. So I'm going to be using my beauty sponge to blend it in. This beauty sponge, like, I made it a little bit wet, so that it's going to easily or gladly blend into the skin. Okay guys, so that is it. I'm just going to quietly blend this product in, blend like everywhere, every part, from every corner and everything. Okay guys, so when I was done blending or something, I realized that the undertone of the foundation is a little bit off from her skin, but that's not actually a problem because I'm going to fix that along the line. Okay guys, so after blending in the foundation, I move into the concealer. So I'm going to be using my Zikel Cosmetics concealer in the shade Nude. First of all, that's the first shade I used in the outer part because it's actually a little bit closer to her foundation. So I just placed that, and then I added my concealer from Younger Beauty, sorry, from Younger Beauty Cosmetics. So I added the concealer to in the inner corners. The concealer that I'm using is quite a bit lighter than the one I use in the outer part. So, and I go ahead and blend them in with my beauty sponge, the same side I used in blending in the foundation. So I always advise my students or anybody, I don't know why I keep saying students, not to use the same side of the beauty, like use your beauty, like use one beauty blender in doing your makeup. One beauty blender per one client. Honestly, stop using different beauty blenders. There are actually consequences to using different beauty blenders to work. Okay guys, so after that, I begin to contour her face. I'm contouring her face. I'm, like using my powder shade. My powder is from Avon Cosmetics. I think in the shade 30 and 20. Mix the both of them together, and then I'm beginning to use that to contour her cheeks, her forehead, and I'm equally going to use that and contour her nose bridge. Okay guys, so whenever I place the products for the contour, I make sure I blend it in very well. And I'm doing the same thing to the nose bridge right now. I'm going to place it and then I'm going to blend. because guys, you wouldn't want to leave it that way. You have to blend. If you want a seamless and a very beautiful finish for your blending, just make sure you blend immediately when you apply it. So after that, I'm going to be creating the blush. I'm going to be adding the blush or something. So I'm going to be using my lip stains, of course. My lip stains, they are so creamy, they don't dry up so fast. This is the product from Becharm Ageless Cosmetics lip stain in the shade Romantic, and this red shade from classic, from Milani. Did I say classic? It's from Milani, guys. Okay guys, so moving on, I just blended that in, making sure that I didn't create any hash lines or anything. Everything is all good, everything being equal and all that. So I go under the eyes to blend the concealer under the eyes, because I left it there for a while intentionally. I just left it there to, because the concealer is actually very creamy, so when you leave it there for a while, it's going to dry up a little bit and actually give you more coverage than it would have when you blend it out immediately. So when I go back there, I go back to blend it again. So as I'm blending, after blending, I go into setting. So at this point, I'm using a powder palette to actually set. And I equally wanted to like show my students, because I have always been saying it, you can actually use a powder palette and just preset. But it just sometimes they don't believe it, because they all see me all the time using setting powder to set. So I want to show them that I can actually do it, and it's going to come out perfectly. So I begin to set the under eyes with my powder. This powder is from Becharmageless Cosmetics, so I'm using the shade that is actually her right shade to set the under eyes. Not just her right shade, like the shade of the concealer that I place under her eyes, of course, because this powder is not a translucent powder that does not leave cast, right? So you have to make sure you are using the right shade for the concealer if you don't want it to actually have a different shade at the end of the day. I don't know if you understand. Had it been is a translucent setting powder, you can actually use any one, you can use any shade you want, and at the end of the day, it still will not give you any cast. But when it's not translucent, please use the person's shade in setting. That's just the difference. Okay guys, so I just go ahead and setting everywhere. This is just a powder palette. I'm just picking these powders from a powder palette, and I'm telling you, the outcome is massive. The outcome is beautiful. It looks lovely. So after that, I begin to still use the same powder to set her low light. I tell you, like, I'm doing that, and the powders, everything is good and everything is perfect. So just setting to basically set and remove, like, no, not remove, I'm just covering the foundations with powder at least. So that's the reason why you set to like just cover, and tell the concealers and powders, just, I want you to be here, no movement, don't move. That's basically the reason why we set. So you set to let them sit. That's why you say set. Once it's set, they will not shift again. So when your product begin to shift after setting, that means you didn't set very well, honestly. So after setting, even if my clients want to leave the seat, I would rather you wait until I'm done setting. So once I've set the face, you can actually stand up and go anywhere and come back, like your makeup is still going to be intact. Okay guys, so after setting the whole face, I go ahead and set the nose bridge, and that is it. Basically, I just have to set their place, and then I begin to add the blush, like set my cream blush. Okay guys, so yes, I go ahead and set my cream blush, whatever it is. So after doing that, I go ahead and outline my brows. But first of all, before I begin to outline, I'm just using my brush to like comb out the hairs, using tamer to tame them down. Not really combing it out, I'm taming down the hairs anyway. And after taming them down, I'm going to use a powder. I'm using a powder and the Tiny Beauty blender to just set them at a place. And after doing that, I just go ahead and outline. So I'm using the brush from Merak. You guys already know that. And my what's it called? My gel liner is from again Esther. So I mostly use this brand anyway. I hardly change when I'm comfortable with a particular brand. I see that happen to me with lashes. Honestly, I just use one lashes, like honestly one lashes, one brand. Once I'm comfortable with your products, you got me, like I'm hooked. So guys, I'm just outlining the brows. Even though I know this is actually not good, it's good to try out products. Like I'm telling you, like most of the times, like I even have other products, because like I buy a lot of products, but once I'm hooked with one particular brand, I'll have demo, but I'm not going to be using it. I'll just be using the one already more comfortable with, except I see like a more, like this brand, people have really talked about it. And once I change brand, going back to my old brand will actually be a little bit problem for me. Okay guys, so after outlining the brows, I'm using my Davis pencil in the shade 003 to actually fill in, just like pencil guys. Like I have Beauty Line by AD pencil, I have Merak pencil, I have all these pencils, but why am I hooked with this small Davis pencil? Why am I hooked with Davis pencil? Why do I use, like, for crying out loud, one Beauty Line by AD pencil can buy packs of Davis pencil, but why do I just use only Davis? I don't know. Even on brights, I just feel more comfortable with using Davis, not just because of anything, like it gives me what I want. So like most of the time I don't even like remember that I have other brands in the stock. Who doesn't know Merak pencil? Who doesn't know how good and how nice it is? But why am I so hooked with using Davis? I have no idea. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm just going to keep okay, I'm concealing the brows. I'm going to be concealing the brows, so I'm using my concealer. I don't know, I think it's a concealer that my Zikel Cosmetics concealer in the shade in the shade nude, because like the concealer that I use in outlining these brows is not as bright as it should be. But actually I was actually told by my client, please, it should be nude. Like you were going to see the look I created on her. It's very light, it's very nude. That is her request, and I love it when somebody makes a request and I do that. Except on probably my friends. If you are my friend and you make some requests and I already have in mind to create something magical on your face, I might go out of the request and create something else. But that's actually by the way anyway. I have to actually do it on somebody that I know I can defeat anyway when it comes to, like physical combat. Okay guys, so after everything I set the brows and then I move ahead to baking. So at this point I decide to bake with what is the brand, Merak Cosmetic setting powder in the shade ginger. Okay guys, so something here that I did, remember that I already set with my powder, so I needed to brighten the under eyes because I feel like it's not bright enough. So I'm using the Merak in the shade ginger to do this process so that the under eyes is going to be more bright and everything. Okay guys, so moving on, like I said, no drama and anything. So I'm using just the concealer that I used in concealing her brows. I'm just using that as a primer. I hope you guys know that concealers are primer. Like you can use that as an eyeshadow primer and you are good. Like you are perfectly good. You must not actually own a primer anyway. If you have your concealers and everything, you are good though. Like you can work and your work will be perfect. Your eyeshadow will stick honestly well. I'm telling you, perfectly well. So like, yeah, they work. Don't go and think that if you don't have primers, you are not good to go. Okay guys, so after that I'm beginning to use my eyeshadow palette to create this transition. I didn't really want it to be something too pronounced, so I just wanted something light and something something mild and nice. Okay guys, so I'm going to say this equally in this video, even though I'm going to say it in the video where I change the brush. So this brush that I'm using to create my transition, so because of too much cleaning, because not even like I mostly use just this brush all the time, so because of like constant cleaning, because we clean my brushes immediately I'm done with makeup, every makeup with my brushes are cleaned. So because of too much cleaning and everything is beginning to peel off and is no longer due for use, but you're going to see in the video where I change the brush anyway. Okay guys, so after that I begin to place my eyeshadow. So I'm picking this eyeshadow from Blossom Cosmetics eyeshadow palette. Yeah, just picking this shade that is just very natural and very mild. Yeah, I didn't want anything dramatic, just per her request. So I'm just doing it very mild, and you hardly even like really notice that much of shades on her face, but still, yeah, I'm just doing my best to, you know, give her what she wants. Okay guys, so moving on, I'm going to be lining her eyes. I'm using my gel liner from Zaron. I don't think I actually use Zaron. I think I use the carrot. Is it carrot? Karite. I don't know what that is called anyway. So I'm using that brand to line. So, and after that, I'm equally lining her under eyes. And my client has a very teary eye, so I have to stop and try and film it, do it off camera, so that I wanted her to be very comfortable in me lining the eyes. So when it comes to a place where somebody is not really comfortable, I'll really, you know, like just let them be. But I'm still going to do my job though, but we have to do it in a way that you are more comfortable. Okay guys, so when I was done doing everything, I equally fixed her lashes off camera, and then we come back. So she equally wanted like a very small tiny lashes that is there, that is even appearing as if it's not there. Okay, yeah, we give it to her there, and yeah, we have to move on. And after that, I'm beginning to set the rest of the face, like basically removing the setting powder that I kept under her eyes. You can see the under eyes is a more brighter now, more than it was in the past. So I just begin to set, and then I'm equally dusting out the setting powders from everywhere on her face. Okay guys, so after that, I'm beginning to set. I've really set all these things before. I'm just enhancing, like you guys know. I just run through again, like touching, just to be sure that everything is perfect. Please guys, if you are working on somebody that has oily skin, try to avoid this cheek glaze. I've said this all the time. Honestly, I really did avoid it, but I don't know, I'm already hooked on using cheek glaze. But cheek glaze is oily, so working on somebody that have oily skin, using cheek glaze might actually be doing you more harm than good, honestly. Okay guys, so that is actually my opinion anyway. I'm not saying for others, but I'm saying my opinion, you know, what I think. So after that, I set the face with my setting spray, and then I move over to the adding the glow on her face. So I didn't really want the glow to be basically too popped or too much. I said basically I don't want it to be too much or too popped. So where am I actually putting it on the forehead right now? I have no idea. Okay guys, so over to the lips. So I begin to add her lip stain, and like when it gets to a point where I just want the makeup done, like when I say done, I mean like done. Yes, I try to make it quicker and faster and anything. So I added the lip stain, and then I begin to outline the lips, and that's just it. Basically just outline. When I outline, I mix together, and we are good, honestly. So at the point I just wanted to finish. Yeah, I just wanted it to be done, so I'm just doing it fast to be done. So I realized something. Whenever I first added the lip stains before outlining, I don't know if it's the lip stain that dries up immediately before. I don't know if it's the lip stain that dries up, or I'm not blending well. I don't know. But honestly, they are not. I find it a little bit more difficult blending it out. So you are going to see me like adding more product, and you know, having hard time blending and all that. So it's always more better for me to, you know, outline. When I outline, I, you know, smudge it out and then add the lip stain. But at this point I was actually done. I've done the blending very well, and I begin to add the gloss. So that is it. I just add my gloss, and we are good. I'm just adding a normal clear gloss on her lips, and oh wow, I love everything about the look as well. And you know, you are good when everything is well blended together. So after that, I use my Soo Pro. You know, Soo Pro makes everything correct. It makes everything right. It beautifies everything. And guys, yeah, this is the end of the look. I'm telling you, like, Soo Pro makes it right. Thank you guys so much for watching my videos. See you next time. Bye.